All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another video for the Walking Dead comic book series. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts on a recent interview with Charlie Adlard, where it sounds like, based on what he said, the Walking Dead comics are likely over for good. Alright, man, so this is definitely one I wanted to go ahead and give my thoughts on. I'll put the link in the description so you guys can go ahead and check this one out. It was an interview with Charlie Adlard, who, of course, was the artist for the Walking Dead comic book series, starting in issue 7 all the way through to the end of issue 193. Man, you know, this one was a really cool one to listen to through, and I'd highly recommend you guys go ahead and give it a listen through if you're a fan of the Walking Dead comic book series, because you know, this is him kind of giving his thoughts on his side of things for ending The Walking Dead, for him and Robert Kirkman's decision to end it. And that's something that, like, a lot of us always forget about. You know, Robert Kirkman, he obviously was the creator for Walking Dead. He gets pretty much all the credit for it most of the time, and everybody forgets about Charlie Adlard. But if you think about it, without Charlie Adlard doing this incredible art, I just happened to grab this because it was handy, for The Walking Dead, you know, we don't know if the series would have got 193 issues and would have been as well received as it has been. I mean, you know, it wouldn't be easy to find somebody to be able to do this kind of style, which is sort of a really amazing fit for The Walking Dead, because it doesn't look too cartoony or too superhero-esque. It's comic, but it's very kind of realistic in terms of the style. You know, the environments, the zombies, everything looks very natural the way he does everything. So, I mean, you know, it's a cool interview to listen through, but it does make me very sad because he says a few key things in it that would basically lead you to believe that, in his mind, he's finished with The Walking Dead pretty much for good, from the sounds of things. Now, he did say that obviously he'll be doing, you know, sketches and things like that, but some of the key things he said here are, man, really, really crazy. So let's go over it. So he says, in terms of missing the series and the series being over, and you can listen to it yourself in that podcast, you know, you can just hear exactly what he says, but it sounds like what he says is that he misses the regularity of it. So he misses, you know, consistently working on The Walking Dead and doing it because he's been done it now for a little while. You know, finishing his work, obviously, ahead of time before the issues actually release. But he also says, not that I'd ever go back to it. So he also says at another point that when they were deciding to end The Walking Dead was around the start to the 4th compendium, and they kind of had discussed, and he had reached out to Robert Kirkman and kind of discussed that, you know, they were going to end The Walking Dead at around the end of the 4th compendium. And so basically he said, you know, like, okay, that's great. They're going to choose that as an endpoint, and that's what they were going to do. But that means he has to draw another 48 issues of the comic to kind of, you know, to wrap it up, to finish it. And, you know, with him being, as he says in the interview, 53, and him having started it, you know, 15 years ago, you know, it's sort of something that, like, a lot of us, we didn't really think about, but, you know, the reality of the situation is that that's a lot of work. You know, I think Kirkman had said at one point that Charlie Adlard spent more time on The Walking Dead than anyone, because that's kind of true, that it probably, you know, well, it would take you longer to do the art if you're expecting, you know, this kind of quality of artwork for The Walking Dead than it probably would to write it. Like, for Robert Kirkman to write it, you know, it's going to take some time to make decisions and kind of set things up and dialogue and everything. You know, it's going to take some time. But to do the art is even, you know, is going to take even longer. If it's 22, you know, pages a month, and the covers and whatever else they're doing, if it's Here's Negan, or, you know, they're doing bi-weekly releases at one point, or another point they're doing, you know, a 3-issue release at once to end things off. It's just a lot of work. So I think as fans, you know, sometimes we forget, like, okay, we're sad to see it go, and we want to get more Walking Dead, but we got to remember that, you know, they're aging, they're getting older, you know, 53, this kind of thing, you know, probably want to hang it up at some point, and also wanting to give the story a good ending and a proper ending, because it, you know, deserves, and it got a great ending. It got like a happy ending for the survivors, and it kind of deserves that after all the things they had been throughout the series and throughout the zombie apocalypse. But it does make me really sad that he said it sounds like he's basically has no interest in doing any kind of Walking Dead series or zombie apocalypse series. He even says at one point when he's asked about Marvel or DC and them kind of, giving him some offers of some different work that he could do just to keep himself busy and, have some fun and do what he loves to do, which is his art. But, obviously at the same time, too, The Walking Dead was uber successful, so he doesn't need to take on any new projects. It's not like he's out of work or anything. He's basically early retired from the sounds of things because of the success of The Walking Dead, right? And all, also his age as well, too, being 53 and everything. So he says, the last thing I want to be doing now is zombies, when he was offered to do, I guess, a Marvel or DC zombie cover, something like this, like maybe a variant cover or something like that. He doesn't say exactly. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but, just the idea that he says the last thing he would want to do is zombie stuff. So I guess it goes to show that no matter what you do, even if you enjoy it and you love creating and you love doing art and that kind of thing, after a certain amount of years, after doing it kind of full-time or half-time or part-time, however long it takes him to do each issue, with regularity, like doing it all the time, day after day after day, week after week, year after year after year. After 15 years, you've had enough, right? And I think we all have to understand that. Like, you've had enough at some point. So the question would become is, do you think Robert Kirkman would do another Walking Dead without him? And I think probably not. I mean, I guess it's possible that there could be some kind of spin-off or sequel or prequel or something, but the fact that he's so amazing at what he did and so incredible, and it sounds like he has basically no interest in doing anything in the future for Walking Dead, aside from maybe the odd variant or something like this or sketches and things like that. It's pretty sad, right? It's pretty sad because his work was so amazing, and to try to find someone else to fill his shoes, I mean, that would be really, really difficult to do, and I'd almost say right there, like, he probably wouldn't do that. I mean, you never know, so we'll see if anything ever changes, but for the sounds of things, it sounds like he had his 15-year run. He had his fill of drawing zombies, and he's done with that. He wants to do kind of passion projects and Vampire State Building and different things like this that are kind of more because he just enjoys it and he wants to. He's not just going to jump at every job he has to take because he doesn't have to. Walking Dead was so good that it did so well. It succeeded so much that he obviously probably doesn't even need to work again ever if he doesn't want to. But probably just is going to take on stuff that he feels like, okay, I want to do this, I'm going to go do this or do that or whatever. Keep yourself busy, that kind of thing. So, man, he also said that he won't be working on superhero comics. So that's another one too, which is kind of sad. So it's kind of like it sounds like he's pretty much done. And will never do a 15-year run on anything, again. So, well, that makes sense based on his age. If you're 53, yeah, you probably don't have a 15-year run in you, and that's probably true as well too. So, it's a really great interview. Listen to it through if you guys want to. He misses the regularity of it, but he would not ever go back to it again. So I guess it's just one of those things that we didn't really think about that as part of the Walking Dead ending, which is that it was probably a lot of bloody work for him to do it, for him to do all those issues and for them to sign up for another one would be like, oh man. So it sounds like to me, unfortunately, to put two and two together here, it sounds like The Walking Dead in comic form is likely over for good, and I wouldn't be expecting to see, any Walking Dead 2 or anything like that, in the future. It sounds like it's going to be a one-series deal, and that's it. It's not going to be like the the TV series where you have the original Walking Dead series, and it's going to go for a really long time. You're going to have Fear, which continues. You're going to have the other spin-off in the movies. Like, they've expanded it. The Walking Dead comics stayed sort of concentrated. It stayed concentrated to the main run, and they didn't reboot it, and they didn't do any of these kind of marketing kind of techniques to kind of sell more or anything like that. They just produced an amazing quality comic. They let it stand on its own, and as doing such, they don't they don't need to do it ever again. And it doesn't sound to me like there's any real interest there in doing anything with it. It sounds like it really is over for good. So so that'll be it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think, and I'm sorry, but we gotta go through that information that we gotta get as fans of The Walking Dead. It's sad to see the comic series go. Really, really sad. Still kind of a little bit in denial, hoping we get something. But, to hear him talk it through like this, it makes a lot of sense to where it's like, oh, man, okay. it really is over for good. And you got to understand, it was a lot of work for him to do all that. Probably doing more hours, more work than anybody else regarding the brand and The Walking Dead as a whole. So let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments below. If this is bad news for you, I'm really sorry, guys, but I just gotta tell you what it sounds like we're hearing here. And yeah, man, I'm sad too, but it's okay. We got the TV series to go and that kind of stuff. And also, one positive note of it is it won't get diluted down, and they, won't be like another issue of Batman every, issue 1,000 or something. Like, that's not going to happen, right? Unless, eventually Kirkman's, gets a different artist or something. And I don't see it. I don't see it happen. It doesn't sound like it's going to happen. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you guys think from the interview. And if you like this video, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, and subscribe at the bottom left. If you're new. So for this one, guys, see you again soon for another. As always, it's Trev. Say peace. Later, guys. See you soon.